Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have been making some fall cards and I was really happy with how they came out, so I thought I would jump on and put one together. I have already cut out my pieces. I've been die cutting like crazy. And I've done a lot of coloring too. So here's my card. I did a bunch of these watercolor panels and cut them down. They're slightly less than 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then I made layers from some thinner cardstock and papers. And I used, to cut a couple of the layers, I used a couple of cat scrappiness sets. And I've got to get them out of here so I can tell you what they are. This one is a stitched scalloped rectangle set. I don't know if these are still available or not. I've had them for a while, and this is just the stitched rectangle dies. So, and that's my stamping block that I use to hold down my layers to glue them. So we're just going to put this together quickly. I have already, this is some old paper I've had around for quite some time. So I thought, what better way to use it than just turn it into a layer. And I inked around the edges with some of the new Simon Hurley ink. I think this is Guppy. And I'm loving those inks. So let's just get started. So I did this with the scalloped, stitched scallop. This was just cut down, and basically I just sort of, so the stitching is here on the inside. Is this thing zoomed in as far as it will go? Yep. So where the stitching is, I just cut it down to go inside of this, but where the stitching will still show, because I want that detail. I'll tell you, after not crafting a ton here lately, I made quite a few cards, and we weren't even home most of the day yesterday. We were all up and down the road getting groceries. My husband had to have an MRI, nothing serious. Basically just some tests to make sure he can start a medication. Then we went out to lunch at one of our favorite Mexican restaurants. I've gotten jaded on Mexican over the years because most Mexican restaurants, they don't serve. It is not Mexican food. But we found this one. It's called Monarca. And they opened in LaGrange, Georgia first. And now they have one in Columbus. And we've been several times to the one in LaGrange. It was our first time to go to the one down there in Columbus, because it's not a place down there where we usually it's not an area where we're usually shopping. So that was kind of nice. Oh, this is from Altenew. It's called Burlap Texture Dye, and it's been on my, this and another die set have been on my wish list like forever. And I finally broke down and bought this. And I'm so glad I did, because I just got it and I have been working it like crazy on these cards. This is a little silicone mat that I got. It's really for wax seals, doing wax seals. But when you're trying to put glue on something like this, it works like a charm. Oh, and I haven't picked out all my pieces to go on here yet. Here's one of my little project containers. This one is from Spellbinders. They're a little more, so scrapbook.com also has them. I think these ones are a little pricier, but I like them because they have the lid, but the lid is also a tray with a lip on it. So it's kind of double duty. And let's see what we want on here. Do we want a squirrel? I've been coloring all these images. Let's see. And most of, like these pumpkins and squirrels and sunflowers are from a not too shabby set. And then these are, I made tons of those watercolor panels. These are cut from my watercolors. That's a Lawn Fawn leaf die set, which I really like. I think these leaves turned out really pretty. Just slopping down some, I don't know if there's much left of this panel or what I did with it. But this one, here it is. I just plopped blobs of color all over the, this is some hot press, I think. And then just cut the leaves out of it. That's all I have left of that full sheet. So anyway, I'm gonna put this squirrel, I think, on 3 leaves, and then just put a little sentiment up here. So let's see, I think I'm going to cut these stems off because they're not going to show anyway, and it's kind of adding more bulk underneath the little squirrel than I want. And because of the texture with this die, I put a good bit of glue so that it really seeps down in there and grabs on. I'm just going to cut this off, and I'll have to put my block on here. sure this is going in the right spot. Yep, that's fine. Really mash down on here, make sure that glue gets down in there. And then we're going to put our squirrel on. And then I have some sentiments that I fussy cut. So I have the Hello Fall and the Autumn Blessings. And I think he's going to work better because this is so big. And I'm just going to put a little bit of brown on the edge here. Since I already have so much dimension by using layers, I am not going to like put foam tape or anything on here. Okay, let me set this down and let me get a card base. I've got little stems, went everywhere here. When from cutting these out, I tried to weed them over the trash can, but boy, I have little teeny tiny squares all over the floor around my trash. And we're just going to glue this right on down here. And I had stamped like the pumpkins and squirrels out last year when I was excuse me, I've got to pull this over so I can make a better attempt at getting it straight. When I was making my fall cards last year, and these were some panels that I had not colored the images on. And I still haven't colored all of them, but I did get most of them. And I had the dies for everything except the sentiments. And there's my card. That's how quick it came together because I already had everything done. And I did put a little bit of splatter on here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to embellish this just a tiny bit because I have these tiny leaves. I have a bunch of these tiny leaves. I think I'm just going to put on a few as embellishments. As you can see, I'm crafting again in my pajamas. Also, I want to hide, I did some splatters, and I don't like that big old blob there. think I want to put one more. One last little third leaf on here. Not sure I like that placement. Might move that just a hair. And that's my card. Boy, it sure looks bright on camera, like in your face. But the colors are a good bit more muted in person. And here are some other ones. This one I had put sprays through a stencil and then put this panel on top of the stencil where the sprays were laying on it. Tell you, you'd think all these colors were neon on this camera. And this one, I might put a little leaf or something up here, but oh, and I put some glossy accents on the sunflowers, and I put a tiny bit of glitter, like in a bronze, pops of color. It's not wanting to really pick up that glitter, but that's very glittery there. I used a black glossy pen. What the heck is this thing called? It's a Sakura glaze pen in black. And I used it on the heart and on the body of the butterfly. And then on the acorns here, I put glossy accents. And I'm missing a card somewhere because I had 6. I put glossy accents on those little acorns too. Because I had made 6 before I did this one. So anyway, those are my cards. And that's just by having all these pieces already cut and ready to go. And I've got another panel cut out here. And I've got several of several of these ready to make more cards. So I'm happy. I'm usually trying to do everything on the fly. So it was nice to find out I could, once I had my basic, what do you want to call it? My basic layout that I liked, it was so easy to put these together. And I also today, what did I do with them? I did a little bit of foiling today, and I discovered something interesting. While I was going here doing my foiling, I tell y'all what. Wait one sec. Would y'all like to see just a teensy bit of foiling? Because I want to show y'all something interesting that I found out. I hope this is going to be okay. I'm going to turn that off since I'm using my foiling machine because, well, none of that stuff is really on. But let me pull a piece of foil out of here because I am going to foil one panel. And I think I'm going to use, I think this is called City Lights from Pink and Main. Look at that. And let me set that back behind me for right now. Oh, well. Hello. I need my carrier sheet. I need the panel that I want to foil. So what I discovered is, I might do just one. I just got some Brutus Monroe paste. I think I showed this on one of my videos. It's Chroma Glaze and it's opal. And I did sort of a comparison to the Crafters Workshop. I think that's the Shimmery Goodness on black and white cardstock. So you can see that has sort of a silvery look. It's more translucent. This is a little more opaque. So I tend to like this look better, but it just really kind of depends on what you're going for and what you're using this for. So I can't really say one's better than the other one. And then here they are on white cardstock. And again, this doesn't show up as much as the one from the Crafters Workshop. And this one, because it's a little thicker, it has a tiny bit more dimension. This is a little flatter on the surface. And again, it just depends on, it just is personal preference, really. So I'm going to do just a little. I was experimenting today with my foil because I haven't done a ton of toner foiling. I know I've told y'all that before. Because I just had a crappy, cheapo heat laminator, and it worked great as a laminator. So let me, I should have got my bigger scissors out, but I did not. I hope that's fine. That's where that edge is where that sticky was, but it doesn't look like it messed with the foil any, so I think we are good to go. I just do not want this sticking out of the carrier sheet. Okay, don't do that. This is wanting to curl up on one corner, so I'm moving it over just a hair so I can get rid of that. Good Lord, and it wants to. There, get rid of that. Get rid of some of this overhang. Okay. I just don't want it sticking out of the carrier sheet is all. That's on there a little bit crooked. Now I hope this works because it worked earlier today. And some of you might already know you can do this. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to come out of the mink. Ooh, that thing is hot when it comes out of there too. Hot, hot, hot. Hot. Whew. So I had done these other panels with the Duo paste, which is the sticky paste. You can run it through a laminator or your die cutting machine. I was using one of those, you know, a thing to spread it out. And it was my older one that I've had for, gosh, ever since they first came out with them. And I didn't realize that the edge had gotten all rough. And so it was not spreading the gel on there. That Duo, what do you call it? Good Lord. The Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo. Good grief. So it came out with this really good Lord, words are hard tonight. Sort of rough look. But I'm going to keep this. I'm still going to use this either on a card where I want the distressed look, or I'm going to cut it up, put it in a journal. So it still works. The same here with this one, because it wasn't spreading it on. I'm going to turn this on anyway. Wasn't spreading it on very well, so I got these, see those lines where it didn't foil? But again, I'm going to use my oval die to cut this out, and then I'll just use this as a background and have an image on top. This one did the best. And what I did is, so I took a panel that I had put the Brutus Monroe Chroma Glaze on, and I ran it through my mink, and that is what happens with the Chroma Glaze. How gorgeous is that? And I love this stencil. This is a Brutus Monroe stencil. I think it's called Floral Swirl, maybe. But you could certainly use that for Christmas. You could do that in red or green and have a Christmas card. background. But anyway, so I had stenciled the chroma glaze over. This is one where I'd sprayed through that stencil, and then I stenciled the chroma glaze on top of it. And today I was like, I wonder what would happen if I tried to put foil on it. And that's what happened. So I took the negative of that, ran this through. Well, of course, then the flowers were plain because it only foiled this negative part on there. So then I took a piece of blue foil and ran it back through. So I got a two-tone foil look on here. And I tell you, in person, this is beautiful. And it would have been prettier if I had been using my better scraper. So anyway, I was so proud of that. But you can foil this chroma glaze. I don't know if you can do the other one. For some reason, I think not. Just because of the difference in the feel and the texture. Oh, and there's another. When I ran the blue piece through on that circle, I had that little negative, so I just ran a black toner panel through. Isn't that pretty? And just got that negative. I don't know if I'll do anything with that or not. I was just experimenting, really, and trying to get a feel for the machine. I'll tell you what, the foiling though is with this Minc machine is just darn near perfect. It's pretty amazing. But I'm going to grab out my red. This is Shattered Heart. That City Lights was from Pink and Main. This is from Crafty Critta. Hopefully my machine won't shut off before I get this done. But let's cut off a piece because I just want to foil this. I really want to see what the foil looks like. But this is the white panel with the chroma glaze. Let's see if this will fit in the thingy here. Oh yeah. And you said I didn't even dust anything off. I'm just playing. Here comes Axel to tell me how he needs something and I'm a terrible owner. Terrible staff. I always tell my cats that you get what you pay for. Okay, oops, I hope I wasn't scrubbing all that foil up against this mic. See, here's another. I had done 2 of those panels, and this one I haven't, of course, foiled. But I was just tickled pink when I got this. Okay, I am going to shut this machine off. But yeah, I was just so happy. And other people probably already knew you could do this, but I didn't know. Put that carrier sheet back so it doesn't get cat hair and dust on it. This one is a little rougher than the other. And that might be how the, oh, I might run this through my die cutting machine too. It might just be how the glaze, how I applied the glaze. It may not really be the foil machine. And if this isn't perfect, that's fine because I am using this for a background. And if I make a card that's a little more distressed looking, that's not going to matter. How pretty is this? That's got a good many little spots that didn't foil. But I'm telling you, this is gorgeous. And like I say, that's my stenciling job with the paste. That's not because of the foil. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. So anyway, that's, y'all got to experiment with the foil. I'm going to save these and use these negatives. So I've got to put them away too before they get all dusty. This one is just, this one's almost perfect. There's a couple little spots where I got messy with the glaze. But other than that, this one's perfect. So thank y'all for watching, and thank y'all for watching me experiment with my foiling. I'm just tickled as all get out that this foiling is working for me. And I'm liking the toner foil better than I liked my hot foil system. Again, it's all just a matter of preference, and what seems to work out better for you. So thanks for watching. I hope you might have learned something, enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.